is the PTA coach. Good to see all of you again. I don't know why I just say this, guys. Good to see. I'm not actually seeing anybody. I'm seeing myself talking. But anyways, you guys understand. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here virtually, guys. I am your PTA coach. I want to thank all of you for checking out my shorts, my videos, everything I've dropped. I appreciate all of you tremendously, okay? And so I have a few things to share with all of us today, guys, about a lot of things. And before we continue, let me make sure the video, audio, everything is working out just the way it should. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to check everything here. Video is on. Okay, let's see here. All right, I believe we're set to go, guys. Light is just good. Laptop, screen. Okay, we're good. But guys, let me know if anything is off. If you can't hear me, if anything is going on, let me know, okay? So welcome back to my channel. I have a lot to share with a lot of us. You guys know I don't go into these long intros, okay? And that's the topic. Today is NPTE PTA exam coaching question and answer live, okay? Question and answer live. And now let me explain a few things about that. When I say question and answer live, what I mean by that is if you have a question about the coaching that we do here on this platform, ask me, okay? Ask me any questions about the coaching. When I say I don't teach, okay, I know I've said that a couple of times, and I tell you guys I don't run slides. I have to explain that to a lot of us so we're clear, okay? When you walk into the workshop, when I say walk in, when you virtually walk into our workshop, you know exactly what to expect, okay? You would know exactly what to expect. Now, let me explain a few things, okay? First of all, let me tell you briefly about my educational background. Number one, I have an associate's degree in physical therapy. I am a licensed physical therapist assistant here in the state of Texas. That's number one. Number two, I have a bachelor's degree in business, okay, from the University of Houston. I also have a master's degree from Keller Graduate School, okay? Keller Graduate School is under the umbrella of DeVry University. I have a master's degree in health services, okay? So that's my educational background. Now, as far as being a physical therapist assistant, I've been one since 2016, okay? When you watch the videos, you will have questions about me, right? That's normal. Like, I would have the same questions. If I was getting ready to take a major exam and I see somebody online telling me they're a coach, I want to know like qualifications. What's their educational background? What is their experience? So it's normal for all of you to ask questions. When you come into the workshop, I go into detail and explain, and everything comes together, okay? Everything comes together. So as far as the coaching, I tell all of us this, okay? For a lot of us right now, the biggest exam coming up right now is in April. We just got into March. Today is March the 2nd, 2025, right? March the 2nd. So as far as the exam dates, we technically have like 4 weeks to the exam date, okay? But that's not the amount of time that we have to prepare, because I've said this a lot of times. If you calculate the actual hours you spend preparing per day, it's not going to be 24 hours. So there's no way we can turn around and say we have 4 weeks to prep. The actual time you spend right now reviewing, okay, that's the amount of time that you have to the exam, to prep. That's number one. Now, the second thing is this. For all of you taking your exams right now, you've graduated, right? Maybe you graduated recently or last year and you're taking the exam for the first time, or you're retaking the exam. Here's the thing. We, including myself, we've all been through the teaching, okay? We've been through the instructing. We've been through the tutoring. We've been through the exams in school, right? We've been through our comps, okay, our skill comps in school. We've also gone for our clinical rotations, right? So we've done all those things. So my role at this point is get you across the bridge. And when I keep on saying across the bridge, it's getting you to the point of passing your exam. Okay? It's getting to if I can get the word out. It's getting you to pass your exam. Okay? So for that reason, when you come to my workshops, I'm not going to be teaching you from scratch. What do I mean by that? Like, let's say, for example, we're going to go through a workshop and go through musculoskeletal system. Look at this, guys. Do you guys think that I'm going to come into the workshop for the time that you spent, the money that you spent, the resource that you spent? I'm going to step in there and start to teach you this from scratch, teach you all this. This right here alone is page 49 all the way to page, I think it's like 210. Yeah, 211. That's a waste of your time. When you come in, you're here to learn, like, okay, what are the strategies? What are the tips? Okay, coach, based on your experience, how should I approach this? Right? If you watch my auto live, I talked about how the FSBPT, they told us that the questions on the state board will be well structured. I like that phrase. They're well structured. So you have to come into the workshop and learn how to answer well structured questions. Look at this, guys. This talks about, this is under the chapter of the topic of kinesiology, right? Planes of the body. I'm right here, guys. Okay. This is just an example. I'm going to walk you guys through the process of answering well-structured questions about this. I'm not walking into the workshop reading this to you. Okay, guys, anatomical position. The anatomical position is an erect posture of the body with the face facing forward, feet pointing forward and slightly apart, arms at the side, and palms forward with fingers and thumbs in extension. Why would I waste your time telling you that? These are things that you can read for yourself. As a matter of fact, before you come into the workshop, if the topic is musculoskeletal system, okay, I'm going to ask you guys to review it before you come in, because once we come in, we stand on business. I'm not going to sit and start reading stuff to you. We're going to be going through strategies, tips, words of wisdom on how to approach this. Because, guys, I've said this so many times, musculoskeletal, cardiovascular, and neuromuscular, those three alone account for almost 50% of the exam. If you doubt anything I'm saying, check it out for yourself online, okay? They're heavy. Look at this. This is over 200 pages. There's a lot of information in here, okay? So you have to know that there's a way. They tell us in there that, I'm talking about the FSBPT, there is a blueprint. There's absolutely a blueprint for success. Look at this. Once again, we're on the same page. Guys, once again, I'm not teaching. Anything that I'm saying here, you read this before somewhere. Okay, if you have not read this personally, when you went to school, this was talked about, right? Right there. Planes of the body. You have your frontal, you have your sagittal, you have your transverse. I'm not going to come in and read that to you, but you need to know what, okay, coach, how can I approach this according to the blueprint and get the answer right? You have to know. Okay? Now, I know this is Q&A, guys, so I think 1 or 2 people are in here at this time. If you have a question for me about the coaching, feel free to ask, okay? Feel free to ask your question. So that's the thing. We have to know how to come in and take care of business, because we have to get our license. I know I drop numbers all the time, but we have to know these things. I talk about the 6, I talk about the 5, I talk about the 4. Okay? I also talk about the 2. Let's go over these things real quick. I know a lot of you have questions about when I say that. Sorry guys, I hope I don't tip over my I hope I don't tip over my ring light. So, the 6, right? We have 6 lifetime attempts to take this exam and pass. 6. When I say 6, I'm talking about to pass this exam, the PTA exam, okay? That's it, 6 times. Now, this exam is going to cover 5 major topics. 5 major topics. Musculoskeletal, okay? Neuromuscular, cardiovascular and pulmonary, okay? Non-systems and other systems. 5 major topics. This book right here, guys, 5 major topics. I talk about the 4. I know a lot of you ask me that question, like, what is he talking about when he says the 4? I'm talking about the 4 with the 00 behind it, 400. We have been told by FSBPT that if we score a 400 twice, If we score twice, we do not get to take the exam again. Okay? So that's why everything I tell all of us on this channel is imperative. It's highly imperative. Now that's the 4. What is the 3, guys? Okay, somebody tell me what is the 3? In a calendar year, we're only allowed to take the exam 4 times actually, but if we take it 3 times and fail, we will not be allowed to take it again till the next calendar year. So you guys know we have 4 chances, right? Let me make sure I get this right. And guys, anything I say on this channel that is wrong, just say, hey, coach, I just want to correct you. It's this, not that. 4 chances. 4 months out of the year. The first one is January, right? Second one is April. Next one is July. Next one is October. That's it. That's considered a calendar year. So if we fail it 3 times, we can't take it till the next calendar year. And I feel like the reason the board does that is they feel like we need to come up to par. If you failed it 3 times and have not passed, then you need more time to come up to par, do some kind of remedial courses so you can take the exam. Okay? So that's the 3. What else, guys? Am I missing anything? Am I missing anything? The 2. Okay? I think the 2, when I was talking about the 2, is the fact that, I mean, you score 400 twice, that's game over. That is just game over, and we don't want to do that. Okay? We don't want to do that. Okay? So I just wanted to clarify that. A lot of you asking me questions like, what do you mean by the 6, the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2? Yeah. All those things are important. And think about it. We've sacrificed 24 months. I don't know about you guys, but my program was 19 months. 19 months, guys. So everything you guys are doing in 24 months, I had to take care of it in 19 months. That is not an easy task. Okay? It's not an easy task. So when we sit back and think about all the sacrifices we made to get to this point, isn't it critical that we pass this exam? Isn't it? I've said this so many times on the other videos that I did. We can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. You took it the first time, you failed, right? Okay, I failed. Let me do this. You took it the second time, you failed. It's not working. It's not working, okay? I just told you guys, I wish I could show that. They're going to ask well-structured questions. We have to approach well-structured questions with a blueprint. And I'm here to give you that blueprint. I just talked to you guys briefly about this, right? There's different ways that this, you see this little thing here? Planes of the body? There's different ways this same thing could be asked. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that there's almost 4 or 5 ways of asking questions about this? But then you say, well, coach, well, it's just a little portion in the chapter. Why should I worry about it? I've told you guys this on this platform so many times. Do not discount anything in this book. Let me turn the book around. Guys, we're still doing Q&A. So if you have any questions, I'm just answering your general Q&As. A lot of you would ask, well, coach, this is just a small little paragraph. Why should I worry about this? We need to be concerned about every single thing. You see this book? Right from the first page all the way to the end. Anything is fair game, guys. Anything is fair game. I'm just answering general questions. Anything in this book is fair game. So every single thing is important. But guess what? Out of this whole chapter, look at this. I clipped it, guys. Out of this whole chapter, musculoskeletal, how many questions are going to be on the state board? There's a range, right? You guys can look that up. There's a range of questions. Out of this whole chapter, there's a range of questions that are going to come from this. We don't know, right? I don't know what's coming, but it's coming. I don't know what's coming, but it's coming, guys. Look at all this stuff. Sorry, guys, my book is falling. You guys think all these things that I'm flipping to are not important? We cannot walk into the exam and just skate through. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. It is not a skate in the park. It takes work, okay? And I'm here to coach you to success. Why am I saying this? Because I've done it. You're talking to a person who's been in an exam and passed the exam. If I provide you with my name, you can go on the state board in Texas and check it out, and it will show that my license is valid. So you're talking to somebody who's been through this, showing you how to navigate the ropes, getting you across the bridge, like I said. What is on the other side of the bridge is your license. And think about it, guys. Once you pass this, okay, it's once in a lifetime. You have no business walking into that Prometric Center again. You don't. You pass it once, you get your license. Every 2 years, you get it renewed. Okay? Every 2 years, you get your license renewed. What do you have to do to get it renewed? You take your continuing education credits, you fill out the renewal form with the fee, you send it off, the license gets renewed. So put in the sacrifice now. We have 4 weeks to the exam date, but we just don't have any much time left. We don't. We don't have any more time left, guys. If you sit and think, oh, it's 4 weeks away, you know, I know coach is talking about this chapter, I'm just going to browse through and I'll wait till 2 weeks to really start studying. No, there's no way you can be talking about studying the way I understand it at this point. It's reviewing. This topic that I just brought up, and not that this is the only thing in the chapter, you guys know that. If you have not read this, if you've not studied this at this point, all you're doing right now is reviewing. Think about it. My understanding of studying is reading and researching. Reading, researching, recall. Reading, research, recall. That's my idea of studying. If I was going in brand new, studying this, I'm going to read, research, and recall. Right? I'm going to read, research, and recall. So that's just, once again, these are all coaching tips. Guys, if you have any questions, ask. Look at this right here, neuromuscular. Look at how thick, look at all the stuff that you have to study in neuromuscular. Look at all this. Look at all this, guys. A lot of stuff. What's the next one, guys? Cardio. Cardio. These three alone right here that I'm holding, okay? They account for almost, I've said this before, 50% of the exam. Because think about it, we're going to have 180 hot questions, like HOT, hot questions. They're coming. Not for me, for you. You watching now, if you know somebody that will be taking the exam or for you in PTA school, they're coming. Okay? 180, 40 questions do not count, but we do not know what 40 questions don't count. So guess what, guys? My recommendation as a coach, answer all the questions. Now, when it comes to taking the exam, we'll probably talk about that in a workshop or some different day. There's a lot of things that go into that, okay? We're not talking, all we're talking about today, if you have any questions about my coaching, as far as like, how does it work? What do we talk about? How do we approach this? How can I sign up for a session? That's what I'm here for, okay? If you've watched my old videos, the ones I've done recently, I've been dropping my email. And I'll do the same thing right now. Let me drop my email here. If you don't want to ask a question at this time, you can also send me an email address, okay? Let's see. Let's type it up here, guys. Let's see. For consultation and workshops. 1 second, guys. Thanks for joining, guys. Thanks so much for joining. Consultation and workshops. I want you to send an email. 1 second, guys. Send an email. Okay, whoops. Send an email to, sorry guys, I'm using one hand to type. It's akaluso40@gmail.com, okay? AKALUSO, the number 40@gmail.com. That's the email. Yes, sir. Here we go. Here we go. So a lot of you say, you know, I'm afraid of neuro. Neuro scares me. Or you say stuff like cardio, man. You know, that stuff just gets me. Come into the workshop, okay? There is a way that works. There are ways that work, okay? Once again, you're talking to somebody who took the exam. I took the same exam that you're about to take. I took the same exam and I passed, okay? As a matter of fact, guys, just like they tell you, when you take the exam, 5 days later, oh, here comes the here comes the result. And guys, my body, my blood, my whole body was just like, oh my God. I actually walked into this same place on this desk, right? And I checked my results. I took my exam on a Thursday, and guys, they did not waste time. On a Wednesday, my result was out. Yes. Because I was like, I was going to take the exam like Thursday and then wait till exactly a week. But something just told me, hey, dude, walk in here, cut this computer on, and check your grades. Well, check your result. And I did, and I passed. It's a great feeling, guys. And once again, you guys might be having questions about jobs. That's not even a question. I mean, what I mean by that is there's plenty of jobs, guys. There's plenty. Don't even worry about job prospects. When I got my license, the week I got my results, I went through the process of, like paperwork and all that, took care of the paperwork and all that stuff. I walked into some offices that provide physical therapy staffing, guys, and the rest is history. I've been working since like February the 14th. Tomorrow I'm going to work. I'm going to work the rest of the week and all that. I'm already working. So don't even worry about job prospects. Now, in the past, I've had experiences with home health, hospitals, skilled nursing facilities. I've actually done some travel physical therapy work. So there's plenty of work out there. For a lot of you in America now, if you're outside of the country, some other part of the world, I don't know how it works, guys. But here in America, if you pass, when you pass your exam, because I'm prophesying right now, you will pass your exam, right? When you get your result, okay, you start looking for work. You should not have to look for work for more than 2 weeks. 2 weeks is actually too long. Unless you're trying to work in a certain sector. When I say sector or setting, unless maybe you want to work in a clinic, or you want to specifically work in a hospital, or you just want to specifically work in a skilled nursing facility, or you just want to do home health, unless you're looking for a specific thing. Okay? But if you're ready to work across the board, there's work everywhere, especially if you're trying to go into home health. Oh my gosh. There's plenty. There's so much work out there. You will stay, like, I'm busy, guys. Like, when I'm done with this, I need to start calling my patients and scheduling my patients for the week. So they know, like, okay, I'm coming between this time and all that. They're like, okay, yeah, you're coming at this time. What, they just want to ask questions, and then I schedule them, and I'm off to the races. And then what I do is, in the mornings before I start to go out to see the patients, I would call just to confirm, hey, I'll be out there in the next 30 minutes. I hope everything is good. They say, okay, yeah, we're fine. You can go ahead and come out. Or they say, no, not today. Can we reschedule? So I'm already working, guys. I'm already working. All right. So question and answer, guys. Any questions that you have for me as far as the workshop? Any questions you have for me, please ask. Let's see. We'll stay on for another maybe 10 minutes or so. Yeah. Maybe another 10 minutes and then I have to go, guys. Because like I said, I need to start calling my patients, and I need to start the process of scheduling my appointments for the week, so they have a very good idea of when I'm coming. Okay. Yeah, so check out my videos. I'm looking at one right now. It says, are you scared of the Npte-pta exam? If you're scared, ask me a question. Ask me. I've been through the exam. I know the feelings you're going through. The night before I took the exam, guys, I couldn't sleep. Anytime I have a big event coming up the next day, guys, I barely sleep. I know, so it's a natural feeling. What else? What else, guys? Any questions? I can't think of any right now. So the ones I think you guys asked, I believe I addressed them. Okay. Oh, and a lot of you say, okay, like when I say the book. We might be reading different books. It's quite okay. It's quite okay. Okay. But the topics are the same. For example, if we flip to, let's say, like the nervous system, right? And in this book, it's on page 213. And we start to talk about the cranial nerves. The same information. There's 12 cranial nerves, period. There's 31 spinal nerves, period, right? So regardless of whatever book you're reading, it doesn't matter. Unless if you're reading a book and it's saying that there's 14 cranial nerves, we might want to check that out. Because for all I've known throughout PTA school and reading through all the books and apps, my understanding is that there's 12 pairs of cranial nerves and there's 31 spinal nerves, right? So we're all clear on that. Okay. So it doesn't matter what book you're using, whether you're using an actual physical book or you're using an ebook or an app, whatever you're using, it's fine. When we start the workshop, when I say something, everybody kind of understands, right? Because we're talking about the same thing. Now, you guys have questions about your knowledge base, right? You notice how even when in school, right? Some people scored at a certain level, higher, some were in the middle, some were like more in the lower, but they were passing. So knowledge base is always going to be different. And I think it has a lot to do with recall and comprehension, okay? Recall and comprehension. Because, for example, guys, I mean, let's go back here. You're going to notice that when you take the exam, even while you're taking practice exams, right? Some questions are going to be like basic. Like if they start to ask about the planes of the body or the axis, it's going to be basic. Some questions are going to be intermediate and some are going to be advanced, right? But guess what? If I ask you a question about the planes of the body and you have no clue, guess what? This question, which to me is basic, for you is advanced, right? It's advanced because you don't have any knowledge of it. You don't even know how to approach it. You don't even have a clue of what we're talking about. So if you encounter this on a practice exam or the actual state board exam, and you have no clue, all of a sudden, a question that is a basic question becomes an advanced question. That is just the truth of the truth of the truth. So come to the workshop, guys, because even when we don't even have a clue of what this question is talking about or the concept, there are ways to increase our chances of getting the answer right. There's a blueprint that works, guys. Once again, I can't say this enough. You're talking to a person that has passed the exam. I'm licensed. Guys, it's funny because I have more than one channel. So if I go on that channel and I start to talk about things like this, they'd be like, this guy is an assistant. Is a physical therapist assistant? Really? This guy? Looks could be deceiving, right? So once again, on that channel, I don't talk about things like this, right? Because that channel is not for this. This channel is for healthcare professionals. There might be healthcare professionals that join that other channel, but that's not what that channel and the content is all about. So why do I say this? And I say this in a joking manner. Looks could be deceiving. Okay, I just told you guys about my educational background. These are real things. Like, I have those degrees. I'm not here to talk about myself all day, but these are real things. I have degrees. I have a license. Okay, so don't worry about the whole, this guy that looks like a trucker, because in the other channel, people just make jokes. And it's funny. We all laugh. Like, I have this trucker look. I have this, I like the guys in Duck Dynasty or something like that. I have this look, right? But this is who I am. I'm here to get you to the other side. Okay, and the other side is for you to pass. I said this before. We can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. If you score 400 twice, that's it. All the money you paid in your tuition is gone. Even if you borrow that money now, you have to pay it back. And guess what? The exam itself is not cheap. I think it's $485. Yeah, that's what it says. So imagine people that have to take this exam like 4 times and pay $485 4 times, plus the exam fee, the exam testing center fee. It's not cheap. It is not cheap. So once again, come into the workshop, okay? Gain the wisdom, gain the knowledge, ask your questions. There are ways that work. If I was in your shoes right now and I know the exam is in 4 weeks, my mindset has to change. The way I answer questions in school is not the way I'm going to answer questions on this exam. I know before we graduate, we take the exit exam, right? So the exam is kind of similar to this, which is good. But we have to change our mindset when it comes to this. Because remember, we've been told that they will ask well-structured questions. They're well-structured. Even if it looks basic, it's well-structured. So we have to be able to answer those well-structured questions, okay? And honestly, guys, I feel like this is done for us to pass. I don't think the board is against us and all that because our services are needed all over the country. There's high demands for our services. Most healthcare jobs are like that, guys. You will testify, right? Whether you want to be a nurse, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a pharmacist, you want to be an occupational therapist, assistant occupational therapist, physical therapist, speech therapist, you name it. The jobs are out there, plenty. You come into the world of a PTA, like what we're doing right now, tons of work. You're never idle, tons of work, okay? I wanted to read something to you, all of us, right now. Let me see right here. Let me pull something up for you guys. So, guys, this is where I'm getting this from. This is the FSBPT handbook. Let me just put it in the chat so you can read along. Give me 1 second. Let me stick this in the chat, and I'm just going to read it, okay? Thanks for joining, guys. Thanks for joining. Here we go. Paste. Here we go. All right, so that's where I got that information from. Let me show you guys. Let me read this to all of us. You can just click on it. Let me show you guys something. Well, let me read something to you guys. Yeah. All right, so let's go right here. Okay, you see, let me scroll down. Yeah, so it has, each section has 45 questions, multiple choice. We all know that. You get a 15-minute break halfway. 180 questions, 40 don't count, okay? Let's see here. What else do I want to read to you guys? 1 second. I wanted to show you guys something that I felt was important. 1 second, guys. Thanks for being patient. Yeah, so everything I told you guys, like, it's 4 times in a year: January, April, July, and October. Okay? What does it test you on, pretty much? Patient care, safety and protection, research and evidence-based practice, and also professional responsibilities. Okay? Let's see what else, guys. Yeah, and I've talked about the 6th lifetime. So everything is there. Everything is there. Okay? All right, we got about 7 minutes, guys. Any questions? Any questions? Ask me. Yeah, it's natural to say that neuro gets to you or cardio because it's just like so much stuff. It's a lot of stuff to know. A lot of stuff to know. But it's possible. Like, guys, I'm sitting here right now. I'm like, dude, like, I know I keep saying like. I should stop saying that. I cannot believe that I went through this whole book. This book has 1,000 pages. 1,000 pages. I'll tell you one of the things that helped me, though, is this right here. Truly, guys, I've had a long morning. This right here. PTA 365 is an app. I'm sure you guys might have some other apps that you use, but I use this extensively. I have it on my phone. It says it right here. Seriously, this study app is free. You get the book, you get the app free. And it's a very good study guide. Every day at midnight, they drop a new question. Okay? The question that they dropped this morning was it was about cardio. See, guys, we just got to talk about cardio. It was about cardio. And the question is, if I have my patient in a Hubbard tank, you guys know what a Hubbard tank, right, is, right? If I have my patient in there and they're taking beta blockers, okay? If they're taking beta blockers, what should we expect? What should we expect, guys? So that question is asking a couple of things. Do you know your cardio basics? That's number one. Do you know about the side effects of medications? Okay. Once again, when you come into the workshop, we go through that. I'm not coming in there to teach you, okay, hey guys, the side effect of beta blockers is low blood pressure. You already know that. If you don't know that, you can actually read that up. So the answer was severe hypotension, the fact that the blood pressure is going to drop. You know, there's hypertension and hypotension. That was the answer, and I got it right. See? So when they say well-structured questions, their questions are well-structured, guys. And we have to know how to approach this and pass. Oh, man. We have to know how to approach this and pass, guys. I can't tell you much of anything else. All right, how are we looking on time? Any other questions, guys, as far as like coaching? So when we do the coaching, for example, if the topic is musculoskeletal, we normally spend anywhere from 1 hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours. Why do I say this? Remember, you're going to have there's a range, right? You guys can look it up. I don't know if it's 38 to 41 questions, whatever the case might be. There's a range of questions that come from this. So when you come into the workshop, we're tackling that, right? We're tackling that range. Like, okay, number one, we're going to tackle the range of questions that are coming from musculoskeletal. What do we need to know in here? We know, like I said, that everything in here is important. Yes, it is. But it's going to be like 35 to 41 or whatever the case might be. We're going to tackle that, right? And number two, we're going to go through the strategy of tackling it. How do we go about doing that? Number three, what are the resources do we have to do that? So when we come into the workshop, we stand on business, guys. It's not, like I said, that's why I keep telling you guys, I'm not coming in there to teach you stuff. Like when we walk into the workshop, let's say, for example, we started right now, right? This is a live workshop. We're on this topic, anatomical position. I'm not going to start reading it to you. We're going to go straight in like, okay, guys. Number one, I'm going to tell you guys this, right? When it comes to this topic, there's 3 or 4 ways questions can be asked on the board. This is what I think. There's not just one way. There's 4 ways. And think about it. There are 4 ways to ask this same question. Yes, there are. You have to come to the workshop to find out. There's not just one way. A lot of things that we study in here, guys, even when they talk about cardio, the heart and all that stuff, there's a lot of ways a topic or a pathology can be asked. It comes in different forms. And you have to, once again, guys, there's a blueprint. There's a blueprint. I can't say this enough. There's a blueprint. Oh. My ring light is tipping over. Sorry, guys. My ring light was tipping over. So sorry about that. So I think it's because I was kind of hitting on the table. So there's more than one way to ask every single question on the state board. Just remember that. If you don't get anything out of anything I'm saying today, there's more than one way a question can be asked on the state board. If we're talking about the anatomical position, if we're talking about the 3 planes, the frontal, the sagittal, the transverse, there's more than one way this question can be asked. Okay? Come into workshop and get more information. Any other questions, guys? Any questions in the emails? See, I've not even been checking my emails. If you have any questions, you can actually go to the email. Let me check my email, guys. One second. One second. Let me refresh this. See if you guys have anything. Now, for a lot of you that are not taking the exam and you're in PTA school, I actually coach you in that, right? Once again, no teaching. You're already going through the teaching in school. So I go through the coaching process because we have to stay afloat while we're in school because we're learning so many things in a short period of time. 2 years is very short to learn all this. 19 months is very short to learn all this, but I did, and you did. Okay. So if you are in PTA school and you have questions as far as like coaching you through success, when I say coaching you through success, is making sure you stay in there and you finish. I am your coach. When I went to school, guys, we had like 40 people in the class. Not all 40 graduate. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to scare you. Not all 40 people finished the program. I think we ended up with like 28 or 29 people that actually graduated. So some people will fall off along the way for a lot of reasons. Maybe it's family, maybe it's health reasons, or maybe they just cannot keep up with the rigor of the program because it is rigorous. It is, okay? No joke. Um, what are the questions do you guys have for me? Okay. Weekend sessions. Do I have weekend workshops? Yes. Most of my workshops are on weekends, pretty much. Most of them are on weekends. So Saturday morning sessions, Saturday evening sessions, then we also have Sundays. Weekdays, yeah, but weekdays most of the time, guys, is evenings because of course I have my contracts, my jobs that I do in the day. And so the workshops that we have are not in the mornings because I have to run and take care of, go see my patients and provide treatments. So as far as like weekdays, it's evenings, okay? Send me an email and I can give you more like specifics. If you're trying to set up a session, send me an email. Let's see what else. Are there specific things to look out for on the state board? Well, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. I feel like the state board, just in general, not to like talk about specific things on the state board. I feel like the state board is testing our ability to a lot of times join all those things that we've learned because we've learned a lot. Like, for example, let me give you a prime example of that. I just got through talking about planes of the body, right? Now, there are certain pathologies that affect the spine. Guys, I'm not teaching. I just want to give you guys a brief example of that. Even though I'm talking about musculoskeletal, think about it. Scoliosis. How does it affect the spine? What is the plane? Okay? It's lateral curvature of the spine, right? Lateral curvature of the spine. How does the spine present? What is the plane and axis of that? Do you guys see what I mean by that? We have to combine all these things that we've learned, okay? And sometimes be able to answer questions. Because sometimes I feel like the questions on the state board, some will come across as basic, some will be intermediate, and some would be advanced. So we have to like combine. That's number one. The state board is testing to find out if we will practice as a safe physical therapist assistant. Do we know our roles and responsibilities? Do we know about contraindications? Do we know about precautions, right? If we're talking about hip precautions, if a patient had a surgery with a posterior lateral approach or anterior approach, what are the hip precautions, right? Do we know about that? Do we know when to use cryotherapy? Do we know when to use thermal therapy? If they have a pacemaker, what should we not be doing? Okay, so there's just a lot of things, and the board wants to test us to find out if we have the knowledge necessary to practice as a physical therapist assistant. And that's why there's a scale, right? 800 is the max. Anything over 600 is a pass. There's a reason for that. Okay. Guys, let me flip back and see if you guys have any questions on the YouTube. 1 second. Okay, no questions yet. What else, guys? Let me go to the email. Let me see if there's something else you guys are asking. Sorry if I'm looking up here, guys. I'm looking at my, I'm checking my email. Give me 1 second here. because you guys might have had questions in the past. Let's see. Let me see if there's any past questions that you guys asked. And at the moment, I'm not on Instagram and all that. I'm mostly on YouTube, guys. I mean, eventually I'll get to Instagram and all that stuff, but my focus now is on YouTube, so that's the platform. What other questions do you guys have? Yeah, so I've talked to you guys about the workshops. Weekdays is mostly in the evenings. You send me an email, I'll give you details. Weekends, we do morning sessions. We also have some late afternoon, sometimes evening sessions. Same thing on Sundays. Yeah, we have sessions, but just send me an email. What else? Any other questions, guys? Anything that I did not address, you can type it in the chat. Okay? Yeah. All right, let's see. What time do we have? Okay, we got about, I'll say about 4 minutes. 4 minutes and I have to go. Okay? 4 minutes and I have to go. Now, when you come to other systems and non-systems, guys, I know it's not that many questions, but they are just as important. Okay? They are just as important. Okay? They are just as important, guys. So don't discount anything. Do not discount anything. Let's see, what else? I think that's about it for now, guys. That's about it. So just know that this is possible. And I've said this on one of my videos. Do not watch, this is my recommendation. I can't tell you what to do, but do not watch videos of people who tell you they failed the Npte-pta exam. Don't watch it for now. Why do I say this? We need positive thoughts in our heads. We need to talk about the possibility, not the impossible. Because we don't have any time. We just have hours. We literally have hours to take this exam. So you need to be thinking about and going through ways to get this done. Not watching a video about somebody saying, oh yeah, I failed this exam like 4 times. I'm gonna take it for the 5th time, but I'm not sure of myself. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. I think it's musculoskeletal. I think it's cardio. What does that actually do for me? If I was somebody taking this exam and my exam is going to be on April the 1st or the 2nd of this year, what has that video done for me? Nothing. You tell me, nothing. I'd rather read or watch a video of somebody talking about, let's say, for example, you came in here and I told you guys that there's more than one way a question can be asked. There's 3 or 4 ways. I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I'm being asked about the cranial nerves or the bones or pathologies, let me look up some videos on that can talk to me about this as a review. That's what I'm thinking of. That's how I'm spending my time. I'm not spending time on some video of somebody telling me about how they failed the exam 2 or 3 times and this and that, and they're crying and all that. We need to be inspired. Are they telling the truth? Yeah, most likely. Yeah, they're probably telling the truth. Are they doing it to get views? I don't know. But I'm looking about what's going to work for me. If I'm taking this exam, what's going to work for me to pass this exam? Because I don't want to go back and pay another $485 for another exam. I do not want to reduce my chances of not getting this because I only have 6 of them. I sure don't want to score 400 because if I score 400 or below 2 times in a row, I'm out. I don't want to score a 599. That hurts. Imagine that you just needed 1 point to pass and you scored a 599. Go watch that video, guys. I did a video about what if you score 599 or lower. You're in the same boat as the person that scored a 450 or 550 because the pass mark is 600. So we have it. Everything in here is imperative. I can't use that word enough. It's crucial. It's critical. There's a way that works. There are ways that work. There's a blueprint, and I want to show you guys the blueprint. All right, guys. I got to go at this time because, like I said, I need to go call my patients. I need to set them up for their appointments for the week. But if you have any questions for me, the email is there. Throughout the day today, I'll be going back and checking my email. And if you have a phone number, if you want to share your phone number on the email for me to call you, or you want us to talk or something like that, feel free to do that. I'll give you a call, and then we'll go into more detail, right? Obviously, because I want to provide you guys with successful coaching. We go in there. Guess what, guys? All the schools that we attended, right? They have what's called passing rates, right? You guys have heard of that. Any school that you've gone to, as far as like a PT, I think nursing schools do that too. They have what's called passing rate. So the passing rate is out of all the students that graduate in this program, how many people actually pass the exam? There is a number. Is it 96%? Is it 98%? What is it? When you come to my workshop, I also have this thing too. Passing rate. I have to hold myself accountable. What is your passing rate? How do you go about this to pass? Earlier, I told all of us, right? We've been through the teaching. We've been through the tutoring. We've been through the instructing. We've taken the exams in school. We've done the skill comps. We've done the clinicals. Our teachers have earned their pay. They've done every single thing they need to do for us. All of that is now behind us. This is the championship game right here. This. Why do we go to school? We went to school so eventually we can take this and pass. That is just the truth of the truth of the truth. Our teachers, our instructors, our tutors have done everything they can possibly do for us. As a matter of fact, they have a new class coming in, or they already have the class. So they will be attending to those students at this time because those students need more attention than you do. What you're doing right now is doing this and reading and checking out apps and going online and listening to the PTA coach and attending the workshop. Me reading stuff to you guys like from scratch. Well, let me clear this up once again, guys. If you come into the workshop and we're talking about this, of course, it will be on the slide. When I say I don't run through slides, what I mean by that is I don't lecture. I'm not going to teach you this from the scratch. I'm going to show you 3 or 4 ways that this same thing can come possibly on an exam. That's what I'm talking about at that point. I'm not here to teach you, oh, this is the frontal plane, this is the sagittal plane, you cut the body in half, this is the transverse plane, it cuts the body in a horizontal. I'm not there to teach you that at that point. It's a waste because we're going to go through scenarios, questions, hot ones, well structured, right? To prepare you. We're on business, we're on this, or whatever topic we're on at that point. If you come into the workshop and we're talking about neuromuscular, how many questions are going to be on the state board on the average? We're standing on business on that when we come in. I'm not coming in to, once again, read to you. Okay, guys, in the peripheral nervous system, we have the cranial nerves and ganglia. We also have the spinal nerves and ganglia plexus. There's 31 pairs of spinal nerves. They exit the vertebrae column through the intervertebral foramina. That's a waste of your time. Okay? So, just to let you know, as you listen to me right now, I've laid out the platform, right? Everything is laid out. Like, this is what to expect when you come in there, virtually. Okay? When you come into the workshop virtually, we're standing on business. We're going straight to it. Because time is important. And your time is very, very important. And my time is also very, very important. Okay? All right, guys. I think that should be it for today. Tomorrow, I will be out and about. If I have a few minutes in the morning, I will go live. Maybe I'll do another question and answer. If you guys have questions for me, I'll answer general questions about the coaching. Okay? And then possibly in the evening, I need to squeeze out a few minutes and go live so I can share some more things with all of us. I appreciate you guys for joining. Make sure you hit the notification button on the way out so you know when I come on, okay? What else, guys? That's about it for now, okay? So, what is my recommendation for you guys today? Make sure you do your review. Right now, you're reviewing, not studying. Those are two different things. Like I said, studying is reading, researching, and recalling. Okay? Reading, researching. And right now, what you're doing is reviewing. If you have not gotten to any topic at this point, we're running short of time. Also, real quick, if you have not taken any practice exams at this time and you have 4 weeks to the date, I'm sorry, you're kind of running short of time. The reason I say this real quick is this. Before I took my exam, guys, I took a minimum of 3 practice exams. 3. Each exam I took, after I get the score, I will take almost a week to review and take another exam. So if there's 4 weeks, which there are, 4 weeks left to the exam date, and you haven't even taken your first one, because think about it, when you take your first one, you need time to review to find out what you got wrong and go take it again. So you're running short of time. You're running very, very short of time. 4 weeks to the exam date. It's April the 1st and the 2nd. Guys, quote me if I'm wrong. I mean, those are the 2 dates for this year, 2025. If you are taking the Npte-pta exam, it's either you take it on the 1st or the 2nd of April, okay? So 4 weeks left to the exam date. You have to get your practice exam in because, like I said, you take the first one, you review, you go take the second one. So if you've taken the first one and you need a week to review, you're left with like 2 weeks left to the exam date. That's not enough time. And if you're coming into the workshop like, hey, coach, I took the practice, then we need to like find out where you are. Especially if you've taken this exam more than once and maybe you scored a 500 or 450, you're 400. If you scored a 400, guys, you're 200 points away from passing. That's a high jump. I'm not saying it's not possible, but a lot of, I've said this in my videos, a lot of missing puzzles is eminent. There's a lot of broken links in our review or studies that are missing, and those things need to be fixed like quickly. Guys, you guys know I don't sugarcoat. No sugarcoating on this channel. I tell you like it is, okay? If you scored a 500 and you need about 100 points to pass, it's possible. Once again, guys, it's possible, but a lot of work needs to be done. Now, if you scored, like, let's say, and you took the exam, you scored a 595 or 598, you're pretty close, right? So in that case, we need to look at your result, look at the different sections, right? Because they're going to break it down into sections, right? Okay, this section you scored this you scored that. It's all broken down. You scored a 598, 590, 580. You're like 20, 10, 15 points away from passing. Let's take a look. And let me coach you to success. If you walked in, you say, coach, okay, on my cardiovascular, okay, this is my result on the exam. This is how I scored. Then we're going to stand on business and say, you know what? Okay, we're going to take this exam again, but this is a different approach. This is a different approach to get you to where you need to be to pass. Because if you're 580, you're 20 points away from passing the exam. I'm not saying it's a good score, guys, because anything under 600 is a fail, right? But if you scored 580, 590, plus or minus 10, 20 points, let's come into the coaching workshop. Let's work through the process of getting you there. Guys, it's not about the school. We can't really blame our teachers at this point. We can't take that state board exam and say, oh, well, my teacher didn't talk to me about cardio. No, they've done their work. Oh, my tutor did not. Oh, my coach. No. It's you. Right? That's another thing is accountability, guys. I can show you and coach you on everything, right? Right now, 1000% I have your back because you're not in the exam hall. You're in the workshop virtually, and I'm telling you, okay, You scored a 580. Okay, now let's look at your result. See, I stand on business, guys. I stand on business. Okay, let's look at your result. Okay, how'd you do in this section? Okay, what'd you do here? What'd you do there? Okay, I'm gonna map out a plan. And you got to follow the plan to the T, guys. Like, you have to, because like I said, this exam is not a walk in the park. You'd be surprised, for some people, that's just for them to increase their scores like 20 points, they would have to do a lot of things for the next 4 weeks. I'm not talking about people taking the exam coming up. I'm just saying, like, for you to increase your score from what you scored the last time, even if it's 20 points, there's a lot that is involved. 1000% I got your back, right? But guess what? When you go into that exam hall, that Prometric Center, the coach, this guy wearing this black and this hat and saying live here with the beard and all this with the glasses will not be anywhere near you. I'm sorry, I can't even sit to the cubicle next to you. If you and I show up at your exam Prometric Center and they ask me, excuse me, sir, are you here for an exam? And I say, no. The next question is, so how can we help you? Right? How can they help me? I have no business there again. But guess what? You have business in that Prometric Center. And just like I tell you guys in the workshop, we stand on business. You're going on there to stand on business. Because when you walk into that exam hall, you're not walking in afraid. You're walking in with confidence, with your head held high, that you're walking in there to pass. And I want to show you how. Okay? So that's just the thing, guys. If you guys don't have any more questions, I know I keep talking. But thank you for joining, guys. Thank you so much for joining. You might not have questions for me now. That's okay. I do understand. You want to send a message. You want to kind of listen to what I'm talking about. That's fine. Look at this chapter right here. Other systems. Why are they talking about the skin, guys? Why do you think they're talking? What do you think is important when it comes to the skin? And once again, guys, I'm not teaching. I promise you, I'm not teaching. When you start to work as a PTA, regardless of the setting, whether you're working in home health, whether you're working in skilled nursing facility, outpatient clinic, what is your concern with a patient's skin? There's a lot of things to work about, or to think about, right? Skin integrity, visual assessment of the skin. How does it look? Okay. If you have patients that are bed bound, they're always in bed, what do you need to look out for? Pressure ulcers. Those pressure ulcers show up in prominent areas. We call them bony landmarks of the body. The back of the head, their bottoms, their heels, the olecranon on the back of their elbows. So do you think it's important to learn about the skin? There's many other things. What if you have patients that have burns? Then we start talking about the rule of nines. Guys, I'm sorry. See, now all of you are getting this free game. See, now it sounds like I'm lecturing. The rule of nines, do you know what it is? What does it talk about? How do you calculate it? Do you guys think those things are important when it comes to the skin? Because the rule of nines has a lot to do with the skin. How about lymphedema? How about it? How about diseases that affect the skin, like diabetes? How does it present? What about people that have chronic venous insufficiency or chronic arterial insufficiency? Do you think it presents a certain way on the skin? When you have a wound, are wounds classified? Are there stages? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, unstageable. See, guys, now I'm going into my whole lecture mode. It's not lecture. I'm not lecturing. As you can see, I just have this up here. I'm not lecturing on nothing. You come into the workshop, you've read about all these things I'm talking about. So when I'm talking about it, it doesn't sound like, what is the coach talking about? you've read it already before you walk into the workshop, because I will require you to do that. If we're coming in to talk about this right here and we're talking about other systems, I will tell you guys before you come to the workshop, make sure you've done your studying on other systems, because when you walk into that workshop, we're standing on business. We're gonna tackle the range of questions that we should expect based on this chapter. I'm not coming in there to talk about what I just said now. What did I say, guys? Pressure ulcers, skin integrity, wounds, rule of nines. I'm not coming in to lecture you on that, because I'm expecting that you've already studied that before you come into the workshop. Is everything clear now, guys? I'm sorry if I'm staying a little longer on this session, but I have to make myself as clear and transparent as possible. Okay, so no more of that, guys. I'm not gonna dish out free game. But I appreciate you guys for joining. And once you go out there working, all these things that I've been talking about, you start to see them. You start to add up your book knowledge with actual being out there seeing patients and talking to other physical therapists and physical therapist assistants and occupational therapists and the whole healthcare discipline. Okay. All right, so I have to go now, guys. I appreciate you guys for joining. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the notification button on the way out so you know exactly when I come on. For any questions, if you need to set up a private consultation or a group consultation or a one-on-one situation that you want to meet with me, you can send an email. My email information is in the chat. It's akaluso40@gmail.com. I also dropped the link for FSBPT. The stuff that I was talking about today is in that link. You can go there and read. So I appreciate you guys so much. I look forward to talking to you guys and speaking with you later on, okay? So please go out there and know that I always tell you guys, you have to go out there and fight. And when we fight, we experience victory. All right, enjoy the rest of your day and stay blessed. Bye-bye.